All over the world, fires are rising, but this time, they don't burn like they used to. In Hong Kong, a red flame engulfed a building in the dead of night, raging like the fury of the heavens and earth. In Hawaii, lava erupted fiercely, pouring into the ocean as if the earth itself were screaming something humanity hasn't yet grasped. And then, Indonesia, where fire suddenly turned blue. A color not of this world, a cold, haunting, eerily beautiful flame. People say it's just a natural phenomenon. But is that all it is? What if these fires aren't merely disasters, but signs? A call from the Creator, reminding humanity that an invisible door is opening between heaven and earth. The Bible once said, "I will show wonders in the heavens and on the earth, blood, fire, and pillars of smoke. The sun will be turned to darkness and the moon to blood, before the great and dreadful day of the Lord comes." Joel 2:30-31. Could it be that what's happening now is that prophecy taking shape? Could it be that amidst this smoke and fire, the shadow of the Antichrist is preparing to emerge as part of a greater plan the world has yet to recognize? 3 fires, 3 lands, 1 message. But the question is, who is sending it and why now? If you feel something isn't right, you're not alone. Because with each passing day, the signs grow more frequent, and the world is racing toward an irreversible moment. Stay until the end of this video, and you'll see the real reason behind these strange fires, and how we can prepare, not just to survive, but to stand firm in faith, as darkness spreads across the earth. Don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe, so we can keep meeting on these awakening journeys ahead. Now, let's dive into the details of the 3 fires burning fiercely and setting the world ablaze out there. The first flame, Hong Kong burns in the night. Have you ever seen a city that never seems to sleep suddenly fall eerily silent amidst the blazing red flames of the night? Hong Kong, the Pearl of Asia, a symbol of prosperity, where skyscrapers rise as if to touch the clouds. That night, it was engulfed in a sea of fire. A massive column of smoke rose from the city center, casting a red glow over the elegant streets. The sound of sirens, panicked voices, and the roar of helicopters circling above filled the air. People stood watching in silence, with only the crackling of flames and the groaning of melting metal breaking through. And perhaps, in that moment, no one truly realized they were witnessing a sign. They say it was just an ordinary fire, a technical malfunction, an urban accident. But think about it. Why now? Why is Hong Kong, once seen as one of the most prosperous, free, and modern hubs in the world? Is this merely a coincidence? Or a warning from the Creator, sent at a time when humanity is consumed with chasing wealth, fame, and boundless freedom? The burning building, according to the news, was a symbol of innovation and progress. But the flames devoured everything humanity prided itself on building. A city of light, now swallowed by a different kind of light, the light of fire, of destruction. In 2 Peter 3:10, the Bible warns, "The heavens will disappear with a roar, the elements will be destroyed by fire, and the earth and everything done in it will be laid bare." And Claire, this isn't a prophecy of destruction, but a reminder that all human glory is fragile, and when we start worshiping ourselves, fire comes to purify. Hong Kong, once called the gateway to the world, now reflects the state of humanity today. Loud, confident, prosperous, but empty. That fire didn't just burn concrete walls, it illuminated the darkness in human souls. Pride, greed, and faith, replaced by technological arrogance. Do you feel it? That humanity today seems to be racing against God, creating artificial intelligence, editing genes, building digital kingdoms, as if we no longer need the Creator. But then just one small spark, one unexpected fire, is enough to remind us we've never truly been in control of anything. When images of the fire spread across social media, millions expressed sorrow. But among countless comments, one made me pause longer. If God is watching, is he staying silent? A simple question, but it echoes like an alarm bell. Because perhaps God isn't silent. He's speaking through nature, through upheaval, through fire, through smoke, through the groaning of the earth. It's just that humanity, in the clamor of the modern world, no longer hears him. The fire in Hong Kong wasn't just an event. It's a mirror reflecting a world burning within, a society where people can buy everything except true peace. A generation more connected than ever, yet lonelier than ever. We talk about freedom, but we've become slaves to technology, fame, flesh, and our ever-growing egos. And that night, a few witnesses claimed they saw a strange light flickering in the flames, a faint green glow, unlike ordinary fire. Experts said it was just a chemical reaction from metal and high heat. But for those who believe in the Bible, that light brought to mind the words of Joel 2:30-31. I will show wonders in the heavens and on the earth, blood and fire and billows of smoke. The sun will be turned to darkness and the moon to blood before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. A small light, but enough to awaken an ancient fear in people's hearts, that everything is drawing closer to the final prophecy. Watching those images, I couldn't help but wonder, was this just an accident or the prelude to a spiritual storm? Because if the Antichrist has truly begun to act, he won't appear with war or bloodshed right away. He'll emerge amid seemingly natural disruptions, in moments when humanity is at its weakest. And every fire, every earthquake, every event could be a piece in the grand plan foretold by Scripture. I know some will say, don't be superstitious, it's just a physical phenomenon. But faith doesn't deny science. It sees the meaning behind what science can't explain. A fire might start from a short circuit. But why in the heart of Asia's wealthiest city, at a time when the global economy is faltering, when morality is crumbling, and humanity is turning its back on God? Have you ever wondered, when people set themselves up as gods, does the fire, symbol of purification, rise to remind us that he is still there, still in control? Sometimes, God doesn't punish, he withdraws his hand. And when that hand is lifted, everything collapses, as if he's saying, if you think you can survive without me, go ahead and try. Sane Rovers. Was that Hong Kong night such a moment? A moment when God let humanity taste the consequences of turning away from him, to see that freedom without limits is the shortest path to destruction? The truly terrifying thing isn't the fire, but humanity's indifference when seeing it. People live stream, take photos, share and debate, but few stop to ask, what is God saying through this? Perhaps that's what makes heaven weep. What do you think? Is this just a natural event or a prophetic sign? A reminder that we're drawing very near to the moment the Antichrist appears? I'm not forcing you to believe, but keep that question in your heart. Because if this truly is the end times, then the fire in Hong Kong is only the first bell in the symphony of revelation about to sound. And when that bell rings, will you choose to look up to the heavens or keep living as if God will never return? The second flame, green lava in Indonesia. In the pitch-black night, the volcano in Indonesia suddenly blazed with an eerie glow. The lava, no longer the familiar fiery red, turned a mystical blue-green, reflecting a cold, otherworldly light across the sky. Locals stood frozen, eyes wide, watching flames that seemed to defy nature's laws, rising as if alive. The sight sent shivers down spines. Is this just a strange geological event or a supernatural sign? In the Bible, 2 Peter 3-7 reminds us, the heavens and earth that now exist are stored up by his word for the day of judgment and destruction of the ungodly. This green flame, beyond ordinary explanation, feels like a warning of an unnatural power at play. invisible to the naked eye. For prophets, blue often symbolizes purification, holiness, and divine power. But when mixed with the image of an erupting volcano, it becomes a dual sign. On one hand, God cleansing the world, burning away sin and deceit. On the other, a reminder of the Antichrist, who will appear with dazzling but deceptive light. 2 Corinthians 11:14 warns, Satan disguises himself as an angel of light. This ethereal green glow seems to whisper that not all that shines comes from God. Gazing at the flames, we sense a stark contrast. Green lava, pure yet fierce, radiant yet cold, like a test of human faith. We might be captivated by its supernatural beauty, but Revelation 13:14-15 warns of one who will perform wonders, stunning the world into false worship. Could this green fire in Indonesia be part of the signs leading to the time of the Antichrist? Locals near the volcano describe a mix of fear and fascination. The fire rises high, its green light spreading, too daunting to approach yet impossible to look away from. This mirrors a spiritual truth. The world is drawn to false light, but only the awake can see its true nature. Likewise, 2 Thessalonians 2-9 emphasizes that the Antichrist's coming will be marked by power and signs, astonishing the world with counterfeit might. The green fire could also be seen as God's final purifying flame, preparing for a new era. Ezekiel 22:20-22 speaks of fire as God's tool, consuming evil and freeing the pure. While the world marvels at the mystical beauty, the green flame reminds us that supernatural forces are at work, controlled only by God. What's both terrifying and mesmerizing is this: the light cannot be extinguished by human hands or any other force. It reveals the world's true face, where truth and deceit intertwine. In Revelation 8-7, fire and light symbolize judgment and purification, and this green flame seems to cry out to humanity, "Wake up, see through the deception before it's too late." Watching the green lava flow down the mountain, we might wonder, is this a personal message, urging each of us to examine our path? Or a global warning, signaling the rise of the one bearing false light, the Antichrist, and the spiritual trials humanity will soon face? Revelation 13:3-4 describes people marveling at a false power, forgetting the true God. Notably, the green hue of the fire isn't just a visual oddity. It's a supernatural symbol, a direct message from heaven. While scientists scramble for explanations, the spiritually discerning see it as a wake-up call, reminding us that brilliance can hide danger, and only God's light can guide us through the darkness. Observers also note that, despite the fire's power, some areas remain untouched, as if God has set boundaries, protecting what is pure. This vividly echoes Romans 8:28, that all things work together for good for those who love Him. Yet, the mystical light also warns that the Antichrist's arrival will be captivating, and without vigilance, humanity will fall into its trap. The green fire raises a profound question. Are we ready to recognize God's signs? 2 Corinthians 6-2 urges, "Now is the time of favor, don't delay." As we watch the green flame, our hearts pulse with the rhythm of warning, of awakening. Stay alert, pray, prepare your soul, for the Antichrist could appear at any moment, and only the true light can save us from deception. Ultimately, the green lava in Indonesia isn't just a strange volcanic spectacle. It's a powerful reminder from heaven, a symbol of God's purifying power cleansing the world, while also warning of the Antichrist, who will wield a false, alluring light. And the great question lingers in every mind. Can we discern the true light and stand with God, or will we be swayed by the false? The green fire, with its supernatural might, is the ultimate test of our age, a reminder to stay awake, see through deception, and hold fast to faith. Only then can we overcome the trials, grasp the message hidden in its mystical beauty, and prepare for the moment when the Antichrist appears, and God reveals His glory. The third flame. Hawaii's volcano erupts. Do you remember the feeling when you saw the first flame? When blazing red fires engulfed Hong Kong in the night? As if the sky was speaking something beyond human understanding. But it seems that the flame was only the beginning, because soon after, another flame, deeper, fiercer, ignited, not from mankind, but from the very heart of the earth. From the depths of the vast ocean, in the middle of the Pacific, a fury arose. Hawaii's volcano, a symbol of earth, of life, of creation, has now become a blazing torch in the night. Could it be the fire of God, sending a message the world isn't ready to hear? In those early days of the month, Hawaii was bathed in the red of molten lava. Streams of searing magma surged from the mouth of Kilauea, cascading down slopes, swallowing every inch of land, every home, every forest. From afar, it looked like a sea of blood flowing through the dark night. The fire's glow reflected on the clouds, turning the entire sky a blood-red hue. People could only stand and watch, silently praying amid the earth's rumbling roar. And in that chaos, someone said, "The earth is speaking, but are we listening?" The Bible records in Revelation 6:12-13, "When the Lamb opened the sixth seal, I looked, and behold, there was a great earthquake. The sun became black as sackcloth. The moon became like blood, and the stars of the sky fell to the earth." Those images, once seemingly distant, are now vivid on screens, in news reports, and before the eyes of millions. A volcano erupting, the earth trembling, the sky red as blood, all echoing ancient prophecies, like a bell tolling in the soul of humanity. Some say it's just nature, but in truth, from the beginning, nature doesn't rage without cause. Only when human sin reaches its limit does God's creation begin to groan and travail in pain. As Romans 8:22 says, "For we know that the whole creation has been groaning together in the pains of childbirth until now." The erupting lava isn't just a release of energy. It's the heavy breath of a wounded earth. It's the cry of the land when humanity forgets the one who made it. When the world declares itself God, trying to control the climate, alter nature, dominate life, the earth responds with an unstoppable wrath. Those glowing red streams of lava, don't they look like blood? In Revelation, blood is a sign of judgment. When the moon turns red, when the sea becomes blood, it's a step closer to the end times. Hawaii's volcano, the fire of the earth, is a warning written in blood and flame. No one can extinguish it. No one can ignore it. A preacher once said, "God doesn't need to send angels to speak. He only needs to shake the earth, and those with ears will hear His voice." And indeed, when the ground splits open, smoke rises like pillars, and lightning flashes through the night, people sense something sacred and chilling, as if the veil between the physical and spiritual worlds is thinning. Many believers recall the prophecy in Isaiah 13:13. "Therefore I will make the heavens tremble, and the earth will be shaken out of its place at the wrath of the Lord of hosts, and on the day of His fierce anger." That wrath isn't without reason. It comes when humanity turns away, when the world begins to accept evil as a normal part of life. When apostasy, deceit, and greed become the standard, the earth speaks on God's behalf. Hawaii, called paradise in the ocean, now burns like a painful metaphor. Even earthly paradise cannot stand still when sin overflows. Perhaps this is the clearest sign that the world has been sleeping. And in that slumber, the Antichrist, the one who opposes Christ, is quietly preparing his entrance. Do you see it? Each time the earth quakes, each time fire erupts, the world's systems tremble a little more. What we thought was solid, politics, economies, global order, is starting to crack. And from those cracks, the false savior will emerge, bringing peace and solutions to crises humanity itself created. That's how the Bible describes the Antichrist. He doesn't come with swords, but with promises. "I will make the world calm again." But in truth, his peace is a trap. And the fire on the earth is a warning not to sleep through his sweet promises. The eruption in Hawaii isn't just a geological event. It's a vivid metaphor for spiritual awakening. As the earth erupts, so too must our hearts awaken. Is the fire blazing only beneath the ground? Or is it also burning in human hearts, amid desires for power, pride, and fear of what's coming? Perhaps God is using that fire to ask, "Do you still remember me?" And as we gaze at that blazing red glow, maybe each of us should ask, if fire is the earth's wrath, what is the fire of God's wrath? If Hawaii, the most beautiful place on earth, burns, is any place safe if the human soul lacks light? This may be the second flame in a series of signs God is showing humanity. The fire of the earth, the fire of long-suppressed wrath, and the fire of awakening for those with ears to hear. Not to fear, but to awaken. Not to lament, but to return. For the prophecy still echoes through the centuries. When you see the earth shake, the sun turn black, and the moon become blood, know that the hour of the Son of Man is near. Could the fire in Hawaii be more than a phenomenon, but the sound of the end times footsteps drawing closer than ever? Could God be showing us this now, so that when the Antichrist appears, we aren't deceived by his benevolent facade? And in that scene, as glowing lava flows through forests, as smoke blankets the sky, as the earth roars like a wounded beast, pause for a moment and look deeply into that image. It's not just a spectacle of nature, but a mirror reflecting humanity's soul. That fire, what is it saying to you? Is it merely the fire of the earth, or the fire in your soul that God wants to rekindle? Imagine this. You're standing between three flames, each one representing a different level of warning. You can feel a strange connection between them, as if both nature and the spiritual realm are whispering to you. From Hong Kong, where the fire of humanity flares up in the night, we see chaos and immorality plain as day, as people place themselves above God's values and set material things on the throne of their souls. This is the first warning. Look at how you're living. What are you chasing? Money, fame, or reverence for God? Next, Hawaii, where a volcano spews glowing red lava. This is the fire of the earth, of the creation God made. Revelation 6:12-13 speaks of earthquakes, the sun turning black, the moon like blood, signs that the earth itself is joining in the warning, reflecting a long-suppressed wrath. Every quake, every surge of lava is like a drumbeat, reminding us the end times are near. Do you hear that rhythm when you see nature's images? Then, Indonesia, with its mystical blue flame, purifying and testing the spirit. This is no longer the fire of earth or humanity, but a spiritual flame, a light from above, warning of the Antichrist's arrival, the one who brings a false light to deceive humanity. 2 Corinthians 11:14 reminds us that Satan disguises himself as an angel of light. Do you feel a shiver when you see that blue lava rise? Beautiful yet terrifying? When you piece these three flames together, a pattern emerges clearly. Humanity, nature, spirit. Three levels of warning sounding in unison. The end times are near. Joel 2:30-31 emphasizes, "I will show wonders in the heavens and on earth. Blood, fire, and pillars of smoke." Indonesia's blue light is one of those wonders, not to scare us, but to wake us up. Ask yourself, can you tell the true light from the false? Standing before these phenomena, your choices matter more than ever. 2 Peter 3:11-12 teaches, "Live holy and godly lives, longing for the day of the Lord." Every action, every prayer, every effort to keep your heart pure is like armor, steadying you against the trials of the Antichrist's era. More than that, look closely, and you'll see nature isn't rebelling. It's speaking for the Creator. Fire burning beneath the earth, lava erupting, strange lights flaring up, all are messages we must hear. Do you sense it when you gaze? The sky and earth together warning humanity, as if saying, "Wake up, get ready." Picture that moment. 3 flames, 3 beats of warning, and ask, where does this light come from? God or temptation? Everyone will answer differently, but one thing is certain. No one stands outside this. Observe, feel, and let this light spark vigilance in your heart. Those who are prepared, like the 5 wise virgins, will see the blue flame as a warning and be ready to meet Christ when the Antichrist appears. Those who ignore it, charmed by false light, will easily stray. This is the life or death message. Stay awake, pray, and keep your heart pure. Does your heart race when you see these images? Do you see the blue light, mysterious and majestic, as if it's challenging you to choose between truth and deception? Let that feeling drive you to action, not just thought, but spiritual and soulful preparation. The time is no longer far off. The Antichrist could appear suddenly, with light and power to captivate humanity. But if we stay awake, see through the deception, and hold fast to faith, we won't lose our way. Revelation 13:3-4 warns that many will be swayed, but the true light will guide those who are spiritually ready. So, standing before these 3 flames, Hong Kong, Hawaii, Indonesia, what will you do? Just marvel? Or look deeper? Pray and keep your heart pure. Nature is reminding us, the Antichrist's arrival and the end times aren't legends but real warnings. Look, feel, and stay awake. Let Indonesia's blue light ignite in your readiness and steadfast faith. This is the moment for each of us to prepare our spirits, pray, and discern God's true light amid the challenges and false powers of this age. 3 flames, Hong Kong's blazing red, Hawaii's molten lava, Indonesia's green light, are not just natural spectacles, they are warning bells. The moment of the rapture is drawing near. Remember the parable of the 10 virgins. Those who prepared their oil, with lamps burning bright, were welcomed by the bridegroom. Those who were careless missed out. Faith, gratitude, and prayer are the oil that keeps your soul's lamp alight. Pray daily. Live with kindness. Trust in God even when the world is in chaos. Let the green light, fire, and smoke remind you to stay awake, not swayed by the false darkness. Ask yourself, what does this light remind me of? How is God testing me? When you answer through prayer, you keep your lamp burning. If this message resonates with you, leave a prayer in the comments below. Let God hear your heart. And don't forget to like, share, and follow the channel, so together we can stay vigilant, learn to keep our lamps bright, and prepare for the moment He returns.
Acabo de salir y veo esas luces. Esa luz verde es de la cámara, pero esas luces que están ahí.
What the hell is going on? Something's happening in the sky. It's no longer just rumors or blurry photos online. Thousands of people across the world have seen it. It all started with viral videos, lights moving slowly, in perfect formation against the dark night. Not planes, not satellites. They moved with purpose. Some say it's military tech. Others feel a presence. Before anyone could make sense of it, more lights appeared. Hundreds, even thousands. They flickered in the sky like tiny souls in motion. No sound, no clear direction, just light, as if watching, waiting for something. Then came a night when the sky burned red. Lightning no longer flashed white, but blood red. Each bolt traced shapes in the clouds, like a forest ablaze, vivid, chilling. Witnesses say they heard a hum, like trumpets echoing from afar. But the strangest thing happened in the quietest place. On snowy mountains, people saw snow falling upward. Snowflakes swirled, forming faint human shapes, glimmering in golden sunlight while dark clouds loomed around. No one understands. No one dares believe. 4 phenomena. all in one season. Not a coincidence, not random. It's as if a hand is crafting a message from the heavens. Scientists stay silent, witnesses tremble, and those who trust the Bible, they're flipping through its pages. Luke 21:25. There will be signs in the sun, moon, and stars. Nations will be in anguish at the roaring of the sea. Is this it? Is God giving humanity one final reminder? When the sky changes color, when snow falls upward, when thunder roars like trumpets from above, it's no longer ordinary. The question isn't, what's happening, but how much time do we have? Come with me to explore what these 4 signs really mean. Because if the Bible is right, we might be living in the final days before He returns. Before we move on, if you feel something's truly happening, leave a small sign below. A like, a share, or a channel subscription seems small, but it's how you help spread what's being overlooked. I'd love to know, do you think these sky phenomena are random, or are they the signs the Bible speaks of? Share your thoughts in the comments, because your story might just wake someone up. And don't miss the end of this video, because we'll talk about what each of us needs to do to prepare for the day He returns in glory. All right, let's kick off our journey to figure out what's going on in the skies and how it ties into the prophecies in the Bible, shall we? First phenomenon, a moving light in the sky. Some say that night, the sky was eerily calm. No wind, no stars, just a single speck of light, tiny as a grain of sand, but blazing bright against the pitch-black sky. At first, everyone thought it was a satellite, but then it started moving. Not in any orbit, not following any human flight path. It looped around, then suddenly stopped. And then it flared up, blindingly bright, like someone flipped a switch in the heavens. Those who were there said they heard a faint hum in the air, like sound waves rippling down from above. It was chilling, yet strangely peaceful. Like someone was watching us, one person whispered. We're used to scientific explanations, Starlink satellites, planes, refracted light. But that night, this speck of light moved like it had a mind of its own. It hovered in the sky, then cast a beam downward, soft, slow, but enough to leave hundreds of people speechless. In the Bible, Revelation 12:7-9 says, "There was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon." Could it be that what we're seeing today is just a faint echo of that battle, slowly revealing itself in our physical world? That light, was it a messenger or just a warning? A signal that the heavens are stirring, gearing up for some major event on the horizon? Many rewatched the videos from that night. When they zoomed in, they realized the light wasn't just a single dot. It split into 3 smaller beams, swirling around each other like they were guarding some invisible center. Could that be the heavenly host? God's army appearing in a form we can't yet fully grasp? Or is it simply a spiritual vibration, a sign of a kingdom about to unfold? I'm not saying it's a miracle, but clearly something stirring between heaven and earth. And Jesus Himself said in Luke 21:25, "There will be signs in the sun, moon, and stars." If this is one of those signs, then maybe, just maybe, we're living in the very days the prophet saw thousands of years ago. What do you think? Is that speck of light in the sky just a coincidence, or a reminder from heaven that the time is drawing near? Second phenomenon, tiny sparkling lights. After the night of mysteriously moving lights, people thought the sky had settled. But just days later, another spectacle unfolded, beautiful enough to leave many in awe. At first, they seemed like stars. But no, hundreds of tiny lights began moving together, slowly, as if breathing. They didn't fall or fade, but shimmered, like hundreds of little souls floating in the air. Someone captured the scene in the Swiss mountains. In the video, against a pitch-black sky, the lights gathered into the shape of giant wings, opening, closing, then dissolving into soft, silvery mist. No sound, no wind, just light, pulsing gently like the heartbeat of the universe. Witnesses described feeling a strange energy, not frightening, but peaceful. A young mother said, tears falling without knowing why. I felt like someone was watching over the whole world. And the astonishing thing? This phenomenon wasn't confined to one place. At the same time, from Canada to Iceland to the Andes, people recorded the same sight: a still black sky, hundreds of tiny lights forming wings, then fading away. Scientists rushed to hypothesize: satellites, reflections, atmospheric illusions. But those who were there insisted, it can't be satellites. Satellites don't move like that. And we heard a resonance in our hearts. If it's just a reflection, why did people across the world feel the same inexplicable peace? A feeling of being both small and enveloped, like a child in a father's arms. In Ezekiel 1:13-14, the prophet wrote, the creatures looked like burning coals of fire, like torches. Light flashed among them like lightning. Could it be that Ezekiel saw the same thing humanity is witnessing today? Angels manifesting as light? Since ancient times, the Bible has described angels not only as winged beings, but as radiant entities carrying the glory of God. When they appear, it's not to instill fear, but to bring tidings, to protect. So, if today hundreds of those lights are forming giant wings in the sky, could it be a sign of divine protection? A witness in Canada said in an interview, I'm not religious, but when I saw it, I couldn't deny something was calling us. Curiously, this spectacle appeared just days after conflict flared again in the Middle East, and the world was flooded with grim news. Could it be that amid the chaos, God is still sending a message: I am here, and my angels are watching over you? As Psalm 91:11 says, He will command His angels to guard you in all your ways. Many believe these lights are the fulfillment of that promise, that even as darkness spreads, the heavenly host is encamped above, awaiting their moment to act. Imagine, if each of those lights is an angel, and the shape of those wings symbolizes the army of heaven, could a spiritual battle be drawing closer than ever? A Bible scholar in Israel shared, angels don't appear randomly, they are sent. When light spreads across the sky, it's a sign that God is preparing to act. And indeed, since that night, many have testified to dreaming of light, of skies filled with white wings, and hearing a message: do not fear, stay awake, the time is near. If you're watching this, think back. When was the last time you looked up at the sky? Maybe while we're caught up in our worries, the signs of heaven are already appearing above us. Not to scare us, not to frighten us, but to remind us, don't forget, someone is still watching. Jesus said in Matthew 24:30, Then the sign of the Son of Man will appear in the sky, and all the peoples of the earth will mourn when they see the Son of Man coming on the clouds with power and great glory. Some come, some nine. Those lights, could they be a small foreshadowing, a preparation for that day when the heavens open and humanity once again beholds the true glory of the Savior? We can doubt. We can explain it away with countless scientific reasons. But if your heart, even for a moment, feels stirred, then maybe what you're feeling isn't an illusion, but the call of God. In the darkest night, the light still shines. And perhaps that light is the wings of heaven unfolding, protecting, shielding, and reminding us that His return is closer than ever. Third phenomenon: red lightning, like flames burning in the sky. If tiny twinkling lights are gentle whispers from heaven, the next phenomenon feels like the thundering roar of the Almighty, powerful, fierce, and full of might. For there are times when God doesn't just speak through soft breezes. He speaks through fire, through lightning, through blazing red light tearing across the sky. When night falls over the Middle East, the sky suddenly splits with a fiery red glow. Not the usual white lightning, but a blood-red bolt slashing through the air, illuminating clouds like a forest of flames suspended in the heavens. Witnesses say that at that moment, the air seemed to hold its breath. All surrounding sounds faded, leaving only the fiery blaze spreading through the clouds, mirrored on the stunned faces of the crowd below. One witness in Jerusalem recounted, "I saw what looked like a pillar of fire rising from the temple, but when I turned away, it was gone." Videos of it spread across social media, with millions debating, was it a rare electrical phenomenon or a divine sign carrying a sacred omen? In the Bible, fire has always symbolized God's presence and judgment. In Malachi 3:2-3, he is likened to a refiner's fire, purifying sin before the day of judgment arrives. And in Israel's history, the Second Temple once burned in the night as Roman armies attacked. That fiery red blaze ended an era but also heralded the prophecy that one day a new temple would rise, not built by human hands but by the glory of God. So when that red lightning cast its glow over Jerusalem, many believed a prophetic circle was closing. From the destructive flames of old to a fire signaling imminent restoration, could this be a reminder? Is God preparing to return to his holy city? Pause and reflect. Why red? Red, the color of blood, of sacrifice, of atonement, but also the color of war, of wrath, of the judgment day drawing near. Perhaps it's a dual signal, both a warning and an invitation. A warning to a world steeped in sin, but an invitation to those who hold fast to faith to be ready. For that fire doesn't just destroy, it purifies and prepares for his return. Across the globe, wars still rage. Israel is caught in a spiral of conflict, and the prophecies of Matthew 24 echo. Nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And amid that smoke and fire, red lightning like flames in the sky appears, no longer just a matter of science, but a call from the divine. Look up, for your redemption is near. Luke 21:28. Have you ever felt like the world is sounding an alarm through the very language of the heavens? From earthquakes and storms to red lightning, the sky seems to be telling us something. God doesn't need words. He uses light, thunder, and even silence to send his message. And perhaps this time, he's speaking loud and clear. Stay awake. That lightning is not just a warning, but a promise that after all the pain, a day will come when Jerusalem is restored in glory. The fire will no longer burn, but will shine upon a new kingdom, where every nation submits, every knee bows, and every tongue confesses that Jesus Christ is Lord. If you're reading this, maybe your heart is stirring with something, a nudge, an indescribable feeling. That's not by chance. Perhaps God is calling you not just to see the sign, but to grasp its true meaning. For that red lightning doesn't just light up Jerusalem's night sky. It seeks to illuminate each of our souls, reminding us faith is being tested, and his refining fire is closer than ever. The final phenomenon, snow falling upward and a human shadow in the clouds. There are moments when the universe seems to hold its breath. After the roar of crimson thunder, after the flash that splits the sky, a distant, snowy mountain range suddenly becomes the center of it all. No more rumbling sounds, just an absolute silence, so deep you can hear the wind whistling through the mountain crevices. And then, something no one could believe happens. The snowflakes, which had been drifting down lazily, stopped midair. They waver, then rise upward into the sky, one by one, swirling together like a radiant dance in the faint sunlight, amid thick, dark clouds. A witness described it. I thought my eyes were playing tricks, but no, the snow was truly rising. Cameras captured the scene, snow spiraling gently, forming a faint ribbon of light, and at its center, a shadowy figure, resembling a human, standing among the clouds, glowing brightly yet softly, as if the light itself emanated from it. No sound, no thunder, just a silence that left people trembling with both awe and fear. It instantly brought to mind the prophecy in 1 Thessalonians 4:16-17. For the Lord himself will come down from heaven, and the dead in Christ will rise first. After that, We who are still alive and are left will be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord. Could those upward falling snowflakes be a prophetic image of the rapture, the day when God calls his people to the heavens? Those pure, weightless souls, no longer bound to this earth, rising upward, not falling down. Picture this. On the ground, people are still caught up in arguments, surrounded by noise, blood, and smoke. But somewhere out there, nature is rewriting its own rules, as if to remind us that an hour is coming, the hour of being caught up, when gravity can no longer overcome the glory of God. You've probably heard about the rapture, the day when believers are lifted to meet the Lord in the air. But few imagine that nature itself could reflect that prophecy. Snow falling upward, isn't that the perfect image of a soul being lifted? Amid the darkness, those tiny white flakes break free from the earth, rising as if drawn by an invisible force, the force of heaven. A mountaineer recounted, "I was standing in the snow. The wind picked up, and I saw them rising, not falling. I don't know why, but in that moment, I felt an uncanny peace, as if someone was calling me, gentle, yet powerful." Those words gave listeners chills, because, as the Bible says, the Lord declared, "Look up, for your redemption is drawing near." Luke 21:28. And now, snow, which always falls, is rising. Could this be nature's reply saying, it's time to look up? The sight didn't just stun people. It moved many to tears. In a world gone mad, where people seem to have forgotten God, nature is preaching in its own language. Not with words, but with signs of reversal, when everything that should fall is lifted instead. Just like our souls, if they belong to Him, they won't be dragged down by sin, but raised by grace. If you're watching this video, pause for a moment and imagine. If the sky opened right now, would you be ready to rise like those snowflakes? Or are you still held back by the heavy things of this world? This isn't a question to scare you. It's a gentle invitation from the one who loves you more than anyone. The day He comes, no one knows the hour, but the signs are becoming clearer, bit by bit, like snow rising in a faint glow. And maybe, just maybe, God is using this very moment to whisper, "Stop looking down, look up," because all salvation, all hope, and all that is most beautiful comes from above. Snow will melt, clouds will drift away, but His word will never fade. And who knows, perhaps in the quietest moment of your life, He will lift you up among the clouds, light as a snowflake, pure as the light. Don't you see it? When you piece together everything that's happened, lights moving, wings blazing across the sky, red lightning like burning flames, snow flying upward in the winter night, it all strangely connects. These aren't just random events anymore. They feel like a chain of warnings, unfolding in the exact order the Bible foretold thousands of years ago. Some say it's just nature. But what if nature is becoming a megaphone for what's coming in the spiritual realm? Because from the time of Joel, God declared, "I will show wonders in the heavens and on the earth, blood, fire, and pillars of smoke." Joel 2:30-31. Those wonders are returning, clear, powerful, and more meaningful than ever. The moving lights, where it all begins. A small spark, like a living soul, weaving through the night sky before vanishing. Could it be a reminder of the invisible war in heaven described in Revelation 12:7-9, when the archangel Michael and his radiant army fought the forces of darkness? A spiritual tremor is spreading, as if the heavens are ringing a bell before God's glory is revealed. Then come the tiny twinkling lights, like thousands of souls rising, forming the shape of wings in the sky. It's an image so sacred, it leaves witnesses speechless. Could it be a sign that angels are present, guarding us as the world grows more chaotic? Ezekiel 1:13-14 once described, "The creatures looked like burning coals of fire. Their light flashed like lightning." That scene isn't just beautiful, it reminds us that no matter how dark the night, heaven is still watching. Then, out of nowhere, red lightning like fire tears across the sky. Not the usual white bolts, but a blood-red streak, lighting up the heavens as if Jerusalem itself were burning again. It's an image that terrifies some, but for those with faith, it recalls the fire of the Second Temple, a symbol of judgment and purification. As prophesied in Malachi 3:2-3, he is like a refiner's fire. He will purify his people. Is God purifying the world, preparing for his return in glory? And finally, the strangest phenomenon: snow flying upward. Flakes that should fall naturally suddenly rise, as if an invisible hand is pulling them to the heavens. The sight silences the sky. No one speaks, but everyone feels it. Something holy is happening. And if you know God's word, you'll recall 1 Thessalonians 4:16-17. We will be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. Could this upward snow be a metaphor for the rapture, the rising of the saints? When these four phenomena align, they carry one clear message. Nature isn't rebelling. It's reflecting the movement of the spiritual realm. The sky isn't changing randomly. It's responding to what humanity does on earth. And that response is growing more urgent. In Revelation 6, when the sixth seal is opened, the sun turns black as sackcloth, the moon becomes like blood, and stars fall to the earth. In Matthew 24, Jesus said, "There will be signs in the heavens. The sun will be darkened. The moon will not give its light." These aren't just physical descriptions. They're metaphors for humanity's spiritual state, when faith's light is dimmed and people lose their way. But even in the darkest night, those with faith will see the light, because God never lets darkness win. The signs in the heavens aren't here to scare us, but to awaken us, to tell humanity, turn back before it's too late. Don't you find it strange? As the world faces more wars, more division, the sky shows more unusual signs. That's not a coincidence. It's heaven's call, a call for those still willing to listen. If you're watching this video, it might not be by chance. Maybe God is letting you see this, letting you know He's truly drawing near. Look up at the sky again, not just with your eyes, but with your spirit. You might realize that every streak of light, every gust of wind, every snowflake rising is saying, "Get ready." This isn't a threat, it's an invitation, because God always warns before He acts. And if you hear this call today, maybe you're the one He wants to awaken. The phenomena we've witnessed together, the sky opening with light shaped like wings, red thunder like the fire of judgment, snow rising back to the heavens, might seem like mere disruptions of nature. But deep in our spirits, we know these are not just physical events. They are reminders, warning bells from the Creator of this universe. Do you feel it? Something is drawing near, not loud, not ostentatious, but as clear as a breath, as if every cloud, every ray of light, is speaking in unison to humanity. Wake up, for the hour is coming. In the Bible, Jesus once told a story that, perhaps today, feels more alive than ever. The parable of the 10 virgins, 10 young women, all carrying lamps, waiting for the bridegroom. But only 5 were wise and brought extra oil, while the other 5 did not. When the cry rang out in the night, "Behold, the bridegroom comes," the 5 wise ones lit their lamps and went out. The foolish 5, scrambling to find oil, returned too late. The door was already shut. Pause at that moment, the moment the door closed. No warning, no prior notice. The rapture, the catching up of the saints, will come like that. Sudden, silent, and at an hour no one knows. Have you ever wondered, if Christ came at this very moment, would you be ready? Is your lamp still burning? Is your spiritual oil flask full of faith, prayer, and love? Because when the rapture happens, there will be no second chance to prepare. No time to turn back and say, "Wait for me just a little longer." The signs we see, from the skies, the earth, to the seas, are not nature's rebellion. As the prophet Joel 2:30-31 declared, "I will show wonders in the heavens and on the earth, blood, fire, and pillars of smoke." This is the awakening of the spiritual realm. Creation itself cries out, "The Creator is coming back." And in Revelation 6, the seals are opened. War, famine, earthquakes, darkness, all mirrored in this world, not to terrify us, but to make us realize we don't have much time left. If you're hearing these words, perhaps God is whispering to your soul, don't sleep any longer. It's time to wake up. Wake up from confusion, from worldly distractions. Wake up to fill your flask with faith, prayer, and love. Think about it. If every drop of that oil is a small act in your life, a word of forgiveness, a gesture of help, a heartfelt prayer, is your lamp burning brightly or barely flickering? God doesn't ask for perfection. He only asks for a sincere heart, a soul that repents, trusts, and waits for Him in stillness. Because when that moment comes, He won't ask how much you've done, but simply, do you believe in me? Don't you see? All these signs, winged light, red thunder, upward falling snow, carry the same message. Be ready, because He is closer than you think. And when He comes, those with burning lamps will be caught up with Him, as it says in 1 Thessalonians 4:16-17. We will be caught up in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. A divine reunion. No more tears, no more wars, only eternal light. But for those still sleeping, lost in worries and forgetfulness, they will hear a late knock at the door. Lord, open to us. And He will reply, I do not know you. Those words make our hearts tremble, but they are also a chance to turn back now, while the door is still open. So, if you're hearing this, don't ignore it. Take a moment, close your eyes, and whisper, Lord, awaken me. Fill me with the oil of faith, so my lamp never goes out. Live as if today is the last day, but also the first day of preparation. Every word, every deed, every thought can be the flame that keeps your lamp alight. And the next time you look at the sky, whether it's a strange light, a cloud shaped like a figure, or just a gentle breeze, remember, God is near, very near. He's not far away. If this touches you today, share this video with others, because who knows, you might light another lamp. Hit like, subscribe, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe the rapture is near? Let's stay awake together, pray, and keep our heart's lamp burning, for the night is deep, and His trumpet is about to sound.
He says to me, on the 23rd and the 24th, 2025, I will come to take my church.
Joshua Mlakala declared with unwavering certainty during his live stream last September. His voice rang out, firm and full of faith. Thousands watched live. Many broke into tears. They believed that by dawn the next day, they'd no longer be here. They'd be raptured with the Lord. Then September 28 came. The world remained unchanged. No trumpet sounded, no one vanished, and the rapture didn't happen. From South Africa to the US, hundreds of prayer groups fell silent. Social media overflowed with comments. What happened? Did God change His mind? Or was Joshua wrong? But here's the interesting part. While most viewers were left confused, a small group said, hold on, the heavens are still open. Maybe God is testing our faith. And from there, a new wave of debate erupted. Is this just another failed prophecy, or the first sign of a spiritual cycle beginning this October? Has God truly been silent? Or is He speaking to us in a way most of humanity hasn't yet recognized? For ages, predictions about the rapture have always divided opinions. Some believe the Lord will come suddenly. Others say we must endure the great tribulation before being taken up. But what makes Joshua Mlakala's story unique is its timing. In a world brimming with unrest, wars, floods, earthquakes, blood-red suns, and ancient prophecies about Israel slowly coming to pass. Perhaps that's why, when Joshua spoke, thousands believed. Not because they were blind, but because they were desperate. Desperate to leave this world, a place where every day brings another sign that time is running out. Yet when his prophecy didn't come to pass, the real question wasn't, was Joshua wrong? But rather, have we misunderstood the rapture from the start? In today's video, we'll look back at the entire Joshua Mlakela event, the man who convinced thousands that the rapture would happen in September. And more importantly, we'll explore the strange signs in October that have many believing the story isn't over yet. Before we go on, if you find topics like this worth reflecting on, don't forget to hit like, share this video, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss what's next. Every interaction not only helps spread the word of God further, but also builds a community of those awake and awaiting His return. And trust me, you'll want to stick around until the end of this video, because there's a mysterious detail about Joshua Mlakela's prophecy that few have noticed, one that might completely change how you view the rapture we've long believed in. Before judging whether that prophecy was right or wrong, maybe we should start from the beginning to understand better. Who is Joshua Mlakela? Because only by understanding the speaker can we grasp why thousands of people put their faith in him like that. Joshua Mlakela is a preacher from South Africa. He's not a famous pastor in big churches, but a man who preaches through social media, where prophecies can spread faster than a sermon from a traditional wooden pulpit. From TikTok to YouTube, in just a few months, Joshua drew hundreds of thousands of views. He spoke about the end times, the final days, about signs being fulfilled every day, and especially about the rapture, the taking up of the church. In a video posted in mid-September, Joshua spoke with full conviction. On September 28, the heavens will open, and the Lord will come for His church. He even emphasized that September was the month of fulfillment, when spiritual cycles align with the prophecies of Daniel and Numbers. Joshua didn't speak from emotion. He brought calculations, charts of the sun and stars, and Bible verses. He tied together Israel, Iran, and an upcoming solar eclipse, then declared, "God has set every sign for those who have eyes to see." For many, Joshua's voice wasn't speculation. It was a divine warning, a wake-up call in a world full of chaos. Thousands left comments. "I feel something. I'll be ready." But there were skeptics too. They asked, if God said no one knows the day or hour, why is Joshua so sure? That question sparked debates everywhere, between faith, fear, and hope. And so, Joshua's videos became a spiritual phenomenon, not just a prophecy, but a movement. Prayer groups started gathering online, counting down the days and hours, believing they were about to be taken up. One viewer shared, "I quit my job, cleaned my room, and prayed all night. I want my soul to be pure when the Lord comes." Another wrote, "If not now, then when? This world is already rotten." It's not just faith. It's a longing to escape this world. Something, if you're honest, you've probably felt at least once. Yet, amidst that wave of faith, the Bible quietly reminds us, but about that day or hour, no one knows, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father. Matthew 24-36. So, is Joshua truly led by the Holy Spirit? Or is he just someone desperate to see the Lord return? That question left thousands, both believing and trembling. Because if he's right, the world only has days left. But if he's wrong, are they falling into a spiritual delusion that the Bible itself warned against? Either way, one thing can't be denied. Joshua Mlakela touched something deep in people's hearts, the longing for the Lord's return. And maybe that's the real reason why the name Joshua Mlakela became the focus of last September. Now, come with me, because after September 28, when the rapture didn't happen, things started getting more interesting, more tangled, and more thought-provoking than ever. When the clock struck September 29, the world kept spinning. No angelic trumpets, no sky-splitting light, and no one vanishing into thin air like the prophecies had spread. Instead, all that remained were chaotic comments, reaction videos, and thousands of hearts wondering what really happened. If you followed this event, you'd get it. It wasn't just a failed prediction, but a wave of faith, fear, and disappointment. And from that, a big question echoed. Why do people keep trying to pin down that day? As September 28 passed, with no sign from the heavens, a flood of reaction videos popped up online. Some people cried in disappointment, others raged, and some just smirked mockingly. Communities that once prayed together and counted down to the rapture now fell silent or fell apart. A young girl wrote in a comment, "I was ready, prepared to meet God, but now I feel God is silent." Below it, hundreds of replies, some comforting, some arguing, some losing faith. This isn't the first time this has happened. From 1844's Great Disappointment, when thousands waited in vain, to now hundreds of rapture predictions have come and gone unfulfilled. Yet, each time, people keep believing, keep hoping that this time will be different. Psychologists call it rapture prediction syndrome, a mix of longing for salvation, fear of a chaotic world, and the belief that we're living in the end times. It's easy to see why. When you look around, wars, disasters, diseases, sin everywhere. Who wouldn't think God's return is near? So when someone like Joshua Malakala declares, on September 28, the heavens will open, thousands cling to that hope like a lifeboat in a storm. But maybe in that moment, we forget something simple. Jesus clearly said, "But about that day or hour, no one knows. Not even the angels in heaven nor the Son, but only the Father." Matthew 24-36. If God said no one knows the day, why do people keep insisting they do? Could it be that deep down, we can't handle waiting in faith, and we want to know exactly when to prepare, to control, to feel secure? Some believe that if they can guess right, they'll prove they're chosen. But true faith isn't about guessing right. It's about holding fast when you see nothing at all. And when the rapture didn't happen, some blamed God. But think about it. Did God promise he'd come on September 28? Or did people pin his words to their own calendar? Many started waking up after the event. They realized that maybe God didn't come on the day they expected, but he was testing their faith in the waiting. A pastor shared in a prayer meeting after September 28, "God didn't come today, but that doesn't mean he forgot his promise. Maybe he's seeing if we'll still love him if he delays." Those words silenced many, because it turns out true faith isn't in knowing the day or hour. It's in staying faithful, even when you don't know when. Looking back, the September 28 rapture was like a mirror reflecting the human heart. Some chose to abandon faith, some turned back to the Bible, some were disappointed, but others were awakened. Perhaps that disappointment was something God allowed to remind us that he doesn't want his people chasing numbers, predictions, or false trumpets. He just wants them to walk in vigilance, humility, and faithfulness every day. And maybe, when we stop searching for that day with our eyes and start living as if it could come at any moment, then when the real trumpet sounds, our hearts will already be ready. Have you ever wondered, why do these rapture days keep getting announced everywhere, only to pass by in silence time and time again? Is it that humans never learn from the past? Or is there something deeper behind this cycle of repeated failures? Now, let's dive in and take a close look at why rapture predictions so often fail. The first reason is misinterpreting the Bible, turning symbols into formulas. One of the most common reasons rapture predictions fail is the way people read the Bible, like they're mathematicians. Instead of seeing God's word as a divine revelation, many try to calculate every number, every symbol, as if they can crack some heavenly code. Is there marks? For example, the number 7. a symbol of completeness, gets twisted into a specific date. Or the verse, "One day is like 1,000 years to the Lord," 2 Peter 3-8, becomes a formula for pinpointing the end times. But here's the scary part. People start using the Bible to confirm their own ideas instead of letting it correct them. A pastor once said, "When we read the Bible to hear what we want, we'll always find it. But when we read to find God's will, we'll be changed." And that's the issue. People like Joshua Mlakila or Harold Camping back in 2011 didn't lack passion, but they lacked humility in revelation. They believed they'd uncovered a mystery no one else saw. But Jesus said it plainly. No one knows the day or the hour. When they try to know what God has hidden, they don't realize they're crossing the line from faith to spiritual pride. The second reason is end times mentality, when faith becomes an escape. We're living in an era full of crises, natural disasters, wars, pandemics, moral decline. All of it makes people weary of this world. And when life feels heavy, the idea of the rapture, being taken up to heaven away from suffering, sounds so comforting. So many start longing for Jesus to come soon, not just out of love for him, but as a way to escape reality. But the Bible never tells us to pray for the second coming to flee the world. Instead, Jesus said, "You are the salt of the earth, the light of the world." Matthew 5:13-14. That means instead of waiting to be taken away, we're called to stay and glorify him. So, when faith turns into an escape, it's easy to get swept up in promises like, "Jesus is coming on day X," as a way to soothe the soul. But real faith doesn't seek safety in dates. It rests in the one who holds time. The third reason is the media effect, when faith gets caught up in trends. Today, a single TikTok video or live stream about end-time signs can rack up millions of views in hours. Joshua Mlakela wasn't the first, but he's a clear example of an era where media can amplify both faith and fear. Every time someone says, "Jesus is coming next week," thousands share, discuss, even form global prayer groups. But at the same time, so many young people believe without ever checking the Bible for themselves. Take Harold Camping in 2011. He spent millions on billboards across America, proclaiming May 21 will be the day Jesus returns. When the day passed, people who quit jobs, sold homes, and gave away everything were left in despair. William Miller in the 19th century did the same, predicting the 22nd of October 1844 as the day Jesus comes. When nothing happened, thousands of believers faced a spiritual shock known as the Great Disappointment. History repeats itself, just in modern forms. Instead of billboards, we have YouTube. Instead of pamphlets, we have viral videos. But we're still the same, wanting to believe in something that makes us feel special, chosen. When the media turns prophecy into entertainment content, faith loses its holiness. The scarier the video, the faster it spreads. The more specific the prophecy, the more it goes viral. And amidst thousands of noisy voices, God's true voice gets drowned out by the crowd. But when we look back, failure doesn't make God any less real. So, do these failed predictions make faith meaningless? No, quite the opposite. Every time an end times day passes with nothing happening, it's not proof God doesn't exist, it's proof he's still patient. As Peter wrote, "The Lord is not slow in keeping his promise, as some understand slowness. Instead, he is patient with you, not wanting anyone to perish." 2 Peter 3-9. Jesus hasn't come, not because he forgot his promise, but because he's giving us more time to repent and prepare. Maybe he's looking at these failed predictions with a sad smile. Humans are trying to guess my timing again instead of looking at my face. But you know what? In those failed predictions, many people turn back to the Bible for real. They start learning to trust God's living word, not viral videos. And that's what God wanted all along. So, we can conclude.